Today we're going to talk about trying to keep your shoulders safe from injury, especially while working out. And now a lot of people get shoulder injuries because the shoulder is an imperfect joint. I'm going to show you a picture of the shoulder from the back, and you can see that the shoulder is really not very well supported as far as it being in a joint. Okay, it's more hanging out in space, being supported by a lot of muscles. Now in the back, the shoulder is pretty well supported by the muscles of the back and also by the rotator cuff group of muscles, which kind of go up and around and underneath the scapula and keep things in place. But in the front, there's not as much support in the front, and especially closer to the body right here. The rotator cuff group doesn't really support it from here, and a lot of people hurt themselves right here in this spot. I'm sure you've all been there, feeling sore from doing some exercises at the gym that put too much pressure in that spot. So 3 exercises I'm going to focus on specifically today to help you keep from being injured in your shoulder. Now, usually the muscles that we're working are the chest muscles, and that's when we create problems with the shoulder, because the chest muscle, now I'm going to show you from the front, the chest muscle starts off very large, close to the chest, and then ends up small, close to the shoulder. So it's coming from here, this big fan, and then it closes down right here as it comes to the shoulder capsule. And that puts a lot of pressure into one spot, especially if you're using heavier weights. So here are the 3 exercises you want to be careful about. First of all, push-ups. And I know that you've heard, oh, when you do a push-up, you really want to get your chest all the way to the floor in order to get maximum benefit. It's not true, okay? When you start to bring your body closer and closer to the floor, you can actually see the capsule of my shoulder moving too far forward. It's actually popping forward of where it's supposed to be. And it's even further forward than my elbow. It's lower and forward of the elbow. None of that is good. So when you do your push-ups, you want to end up in a position where you have a nice straight line from elbow to elbow, and then from elbow to hand. You're almost making a rectangle here. So you're coming up to the elbow, across to the shoulder, and then the other side. Never so low that this comes forward. The same exercise with weights that mimics a push-up is the chest press. So we have our weights. If we bring our elbows further back, here we go again. That shoulder bone is going to pop forward where it's not supposed to be. So your elbow should be straight to the outside of your body, and you're pressing upward from there. It's plenty of work across the chest. It's getting the muscle where you want to get it, here in the chest, not this little spot here on the shoulder, right? So I'm only holding light weights and I'm just demonstrating, but you don't want this. You don't want this bone popping forward. So right about here is all you're going to do, and press up from there. And the chest fly is another one. You start here with your weights together. If you open to about body width, just like we showed you on the push-up, just like I showed you on the press, fine. Once you go further, all of a sudden, here we have that shoulder bone popping forward again. Further. See it? It's popping too far forward, and you're going to end up hurting yourself. So any position that puts your shoulder, this ball, forward of your body is not good. And that includes rotator cuff exercises this way, anything with a pulley, doesn't matter. You don't want that to come that far forward, okay? Gentle with your shoulders, and they'll last for a long, long time. If you've ever had a shoulder injury and you've rehabbed it, you want to be especially careful with it. So if you have any questions, just shoot me a quick comment. I'll be happy to answer it. Thanks for joining me. Take care of yourself.